Hello, Jag Nation. Each and every week during the football season, we bring you insight into the Jaguar football program. Coach Basil enters his fourth season at Flower Mound, coming off an impressive 8-3 record and an undefeated district championship in 2018. You can subscribe and share this on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker.com, that's Spreaker.com, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and soon on iHeartRadio. This is presented by the Flower Mound Jaguar Football Booster Club. Jag Nation Football with Coach Basil starts now. Welcome to another segment of Jag Nation Football, where each and every week we sit down with Coach Basil and talk Jaguar football. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Well, we happen to be recording on Labor Day. Most of America takes the day off. However, there are no days off during Texas high school football season. I assume it's just business as usual today.
Yeah, we used to say when I was with Coach Beatty at MacArthur, we used to say we were going to labor on Labor Day. So, we there's no days off. We do bring them in the morning so we can get our work done and they can have the rest of the afternoon. But we gotta get ready. We got to get better, 1 week better, and continue that preparation. So we came in and got after it this morning.
Any special plans with your family or the football family this afternoon for Labor Day?
No, I think we'll go home and kind of get rested up. Maybe grill something out, but just. You got to take advantage of this time during the season because you don't get a lot of it, but take advantage of time where you're not on a schedule and you don't have to be anywhere. So we'll probably just go home and relax a little bit. Probably plan on watching the Notre Dame-Louisville game tonight. But other than that, just take it easy and get rested up. Yeah,
we're rolling right into, in my opinion, the best time of the year. Texas high school football is well underway. The college football season started. I think they had a special game on Thursday night, I believe, and then rolling into traditional Saturday games, Sunday, even a Sunday night game, and now a Monday night game. So all things football, an exciting time of year, no doubt, here in North Texas. Well, Coach, let's get right into some football. This past week you traveled down the road to Keller Fossil Ridge last Thursday for your season opener. You and the staff, had the team ready as you came out with a big win. What was the ride over like? And once you got to the field, could you sense the players had a mission to complete on Thursday night?
Yeah, going over there, we since it was the first game, they wanted to have a pep rally. So when you have a pep rally on those away games, it squeezes your schedule a little bit. We were pretty quick through the pregame meal and then on the bus fairly quickly and getting over there and then right into warm up. So I think in a way that was pretty good. That first game, you're always anxious to get going and anxious to get started. It wasn't bad playing a Thursday game that first week because you're just able to play one day earlier. You've been waiting for it for so long. I think a lot of just anticipation of getting ready for that first game, and they were excited to finally get to play. That you always look forward to that first game coming so much. I think when it finally gets there, it's almost a feeling of, man, we're actually playing a football game. It's not a scrimmage. It's not a practice. So that reality hit them there pretty quick, especially going on the road and playing a good Fossil Ridge team that was well prepared and was always well coached, and we've had some good games with those guys over the past few years. So, our guys were excited to get over there and get the season rolling.
Well, Coach, with 16, 17, 18-year-old young man, there's always that nerves, first game jitters, some anxiety. The first half was touch and go with Fossil Ridge striking first. The entire first half was back and forth with Fossil Ridge taking a 24-21 lead with not a lot of time left before you go to your running back, Pierce Hudgens, scoring right before the half, and then with the Burt Auburn point after attempt was good. He's very solid there, your kicker. You go in with a 28-24 halftime lead. Was that big for your guys to go in with the lead like that?
Yeah, it was. We finally got some things clicking offensively and settled in defensively, and that is just going in at halftime with the lead, especially your first game where you got some younger guys that I think it relaxes them a little bit. Of course, we had several games last year where we were down and even down at halftime, and our guys never panic. But it was nice to score there before half and go in with a little bit of momentum. We knew we were getting the ball to start off the second half, so we were excited to get there. We felt like we had some adjustments to make at halftime, and but going in with that lead is I think takes some of the pressure off of them to feel like they've got to come out and do anything drastic the first part of the second half. We felt like we had gotten settled in, and we had some new guys that had their first varsity experience, and we felt that they had gotten adjusted to the game speed. Fossil Ridge is a very fast football team, and we were able to capitalize on some things and go on at halftime with some momentum.
Coach, what, if any, adjustments did you and the coaching staff make at halftime?
Well, defensively, they came out in a little tackle over set that was hurting us a little bit in the first half. We made some adjustments to that defensively and how we were playing that. They also had what we call a power replay where they run a stretch play, but the quarterback's reading it out on the play side defensive end who's unblocked. And so we adjusted their assignments as far as who they were taking. We have some different calls in our defense that place assignment on defensive end and linebackers as far as they're going to take either the quarterback or running back. And we made that adjustment at halftime and switched up those responsibilities based on how they were blocking it, and that helped us out. As far as on offensively, we felt like that after we had gotten a few shots to loosen up their secondary a little bit, then that was going to open up some of our quick game, some of our perimeter game. And we hit early on a couple of our little pop plays to Reese Carter and some of our slots to get them chewing up chunks of yardage. And once we're able to do that, you get safeties loosened up and then throw that short game. Then they start getting linebackers out of the box and opens up the running game. But I think the biggest thing overall was just the conditioning level and playing a 4-quarter game. That's one thing we let our guys know, is that the way we practice and prepare, that we feel like we can play for 4 quarters at a pretty high speed. And I think that certainly paid off and was one of the biggest reasons for the big third quarter there.
Well, everything you guys did, the staff, the players at halftime worked. You come out in the second half, you score 4 straight touchdowns in a row to take a dominant 55-24 lead. What would you say the difference, the way the Jaguars played in the second half versus Keller Fossil Ridge, because it was a really tight first half?
Yeah, I think we were a little tentative in the first half. On defense, we had some guys that when you're playing a first varsity game, it's hard to replicate that game speed, especially when you play. I like playing a team like Fossil Ridge out of the gate because they learn early on that you play a fast, athletic team, that angles are different, things happen, get on you a lot quicker, receivers get on your cushion a lot quicker. I think we just finally settled down and playing. We weren't thinking as much. We were really reacting. We got a couple big turnovers, which really helps. We really stressed the takeaways, and I think that was a big factor in the game. Is we were +3 on the turnover margin. Our offense did a good job of taking care of the ball, and our defense got some turnovers that certainly helped us out with field position. So, but I felt like we played a lot faster. We were closing down angles and closing down space a lot quicker. And I think that's just guys started to react to what they were seeing now, and we were able to let our conditioning pay off and being able to play fast through the third and fourth quarters, where I think they got a little tired and wore down a little bit.
Well, Coach, you mentioned bringing up some varsity players that were playing on the sub-varsity last year, holding a substantial lead. Did this give you an opportunity to work in some of the second team to get some much-needed reps as you prepare for district play in a couple weeks?
Yeah, we were able to rotate some guys in there that got some experience early on, which is good. Whether it was on offense or defense, on special teams also is a huge area for us. And we had some guys in there that get a taste of being out there when the lights are on, the scoreboard is on, and the bands are playing. So just to get used to that atmosphere, we had some guys afterwards in the locker room that were commenting on how much different it was in the JV game. With their first varsity experience, you go through that every year. Sometimes you forget that there's a lot of guys in that first game that go out there and maybe in the first time shooting out on a Friday night. And I was proud of the way those guys stepped up and performed. It says a lot to some of our leaders, our senior leaders who have been there, and our coaches who got them ready.
Yeah, we talked before about some of your senior leaders have been playing together since the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So it's really awesome to see that group come together and get out to an early win, a big win on the road for your program. Now, everybody I run into all across the country, Coach, talks about Texas, and they all assume that it's really hot here, and let's be candid, it's been really hot. Game time temps were still hovering right around 100 degrees at kickoff. Not ideal football weather. Both teams had players cramping up. Anything special that your training staff does to prepare for a game when it's this hot?
Well, we know at the beginning of the year when we play those games, and we always deal with cramps. We do really make a point in practice to practice game speed, and we condition just like every other team does. I think one of the things that we do is we've got the catapult system, which is that wearable GPS device where we track player speeds in practice and see how it correlates to game speed. And of course, we can tailor our practice to see where we, if we need to not necessarily cut back at all, but if we need to reinforce the guys that we need to be practicing at game speed. And our kids have done a really good job with that. I think on what you typically see is on a Friday night, or in this case, a Thursday night game, their first game experience, you want to open it up and hit that 5th gear. Well, if you haven't done that in practice, then you're going to have a hard time. You're going to get tired a lot quicker. I don't know that the cramping is necessarily related to that, but you're sweating out a lot of those electrolytes. It was very humid Thursday night, so we really try to emphasize the importance of hydration. We've done that, of course, really back in the off season. We make a big deal about that. I see a lot of guys carrying around the gallon jugs of water, so they've done a good job of hydrating themselves. But there's not a whole lot. Once that happens, those guys with the lower body fat can cramp up fairly easily. Our training staff brings the pickle chews. They've got the little knob massagers that a lot of the guys that they had out on at halftime just keep those guys loose. But I think once we got into halftime and got off our feet, I don't know how many gallons of Gatorade we went through, but the trainers had that all ready to go and got some of those fluids replaced. It seemed like in the second half that wasn't as much of an issue. So our training staff does an outstanding job. Coach Yansky and Coach Dunham and all those student athletic trainers we have. You never have to go looking for water or Gatorade or treatment on our sideline. They've got his staff and kids do an outstanding job of providing the needs to keep our guys healthy and on the field. But hopefully it starts to cool down a little bit. I know after that first game, it seems to be always the worst with the cramping and all that. But, it was a hot, humid night Thursday night.
Well, the athletes, like you mentioned, especially at Flower Mound High School, have such an advantage. Like you mentioned, the catapult system, training staff, much more advantageous than just, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago. They've got not only technology, but all the resources. And a lot of that is provided by the Flower Mound Booster Club, which is a great resource. And again, this broadcast is brought to everyone by the Football Booster Club, so we want to thank them. I glanced at the forecast for this week's game, Coach, Friday night game. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be about 99 degrees again at kickoff, so you're going to have more of the same. So big week of hydration, like you mentioned, and getting prepared for that. But let's break down the Fossil Ridge game. Big offensive night. You've got some playmakers back there. You end up putting 55 points on the board. I think we can both agree if you can score 50-plus points on any given Thursday or Friday night, your odds of winning are going to be very, very good.
Yeah, you put 55 points on the board, and you gotta win that game for sure.
Now, you end up with 22 first downs. Fossil Ridge had 19, so fairly evenly matched there. And, 161 yards rushing to their 128. You only ran the ball 31 times, but averaging 5.2 yards a carry. very well balanced. I know your go-to guy, Pierce Hudgens, but you had a nice balanced attack, not only running the ball, but then